You talked about living the American dream. You're from Europe. All of your running career has been in the United States. What do you, when you go back and forth, either racing, visiting family, what do you see as the biggest differences between American ultra running and European ultra running? What do you enjoy? What are the things you
Yeah,
enjoy? What are the things that you think Europe could learn from the U.S.? Here in
yeah,
Brazil, we look at both
yeah,
with
right.
a lot of admiration. But there's
Yeah,
sometimes where I'm going, I don't know if that's going to be the best thing if we start introducing that in Brazil,
yep.
finding the way. How do you compare those two cultures?
So I think like a decade ago when I started, the differences were a lot more marked. Now, as you just said, like it is happening in Brazil, there's a bit of it's a flow of influences kind of reaching each other. I did race in Europe. I did some trail races. I did Ultra Milano San Remo back in 2014. So I do know the community well there, and I do know the approach. The major difference, in my opinion, is the approach. In Europe, it's very, very, very much focused on competition. It's a very, very competitive environment. Everybody is like working hard to beat the other person and winning and establishing themselves and accomplishing this and accomplishing that. While on the other hand, what inspired me here in the US, the approach was a lot more relaxed. And relaxed, I don't mean not competitive, but I mean the approach towards it was a lot more about bettering yourself, like working towards being the best version of yourself, because ultimately that would put you ahead of the crowd.
Mhm.
So it was about what inspired me at the very beginning. What fascinated me about this approach was the fact that it was about personal connection, personal growth, connection with nature, and spending time outside, exploring our beautiful environments. And so I think that, the more time you will spend outside, the more time you will work on yourself, you will also work on bettering yourself. And eventually that will show in results at the end of the day, but not focusing too much about the expectations of the win, or winning because you need to have sponsors and because you need to establish yourself. And so there was this very vivid distinction. Now I think everybody's kind of starting to, you of course want to, as a runner, as an athlete, accomplish and win races, because that will kind of propel you towards the opportunity to live your dream
Mhm.
and get sponsors and live off of the passion. But at the same time, doing it because you enjoy it, because it's your passion, because you would do it regardless,
Mhm. Mhm.
at that point, it's no longer a job.
Mhm.
You're not doing it because you need to make money, you need to live off of it. You're doing it for the right reason that eventually brings you to be able to live off of it. And that
Mhm.
was kind of where I came to a couple of years ago, when I decided to let everything behind and dedicate myself to this craft 100%.
So, what message would you have for Brazil? I'll be honest, man. It's a quickly growing sport here in Brazil.
Yeah.
But I mean, think where the U.S. was about 8 years ago. Think about the problem you have today, where
Yeah. Yeah.
you're gonna go. I'm gonna listen to a podcast. Oh, should I listen to Dylan Bowman? Should I listen to Trail Running Nation? Should I?
Yeah.
And you got a whole list. You
Yeah.
go. Oh, I'm gonna watch some YouTube video. Oh, should I watch this about David Goggins' methods, or
Right.
should I
Right.
follow?
Right.
We don't have any of those problems in Brazil because it's
Yeah.
it's a beautiful canvas. We have incredible
It's
trails,
an empty
amazing.
canvas still.
It's
Yeah.
an empty, but it's a beautiful canvas
Yeah.
already for us to explore. What message
Yeah.
would you have for Brazilians then?
The message, the most worthwhile message to me, it's about the pursuit. Find the purpose behind it, because eventually that will fulfill you. And once you feel purposeful and fulfilled by what you do, all the hurdles, all the obstacles, all the failures, and here I'm talking as a runner, as an athlete, as a racer, okay? It's in my opinion, it's about detaching from the expectations of what you think you need to do, or what you think you need to accomplish, but rather, as I was just saying, it's about working on yourself, enjoying the journey of it, and taking away all those pressures that we tend to put on ourselves. From amateurs to elite, it's across the board. We tend to toe the line and we're like, okay, I need to run this pace because I need to finish in this time, because I need to get my PR, because I want to beat this guy, because I want to win, because of many, many reasons. Those expectations put you out of yourself. And right from the start, you're already in the wrong place.
Mhm.
So the reason why I always express the appreciation towards yoga and meditation is because that practice of presence and mindfulness allow you to live in the moment, be fully present of what you need to do without worrying about what's going to happen or how hard it's been to get to this point. Rather, living fully the moment, giving your very best in this exact moment, right here, right now. That's my mantra in a lot of races, because you cannot, everything that all the mental construct, they throw us off balance and they make us lose focus of what we need to do. So you look at the result when you cross the line. You don't think of the result when you start the race or while you're running it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You look at the result when you're done, and that's your result. But if you give your very best in every given moment, in every single step, eventually the sum of all those steps not only will bring you to the finish line, but will allow you to give your very best. And if your very best that day is the best, then you win the race.